Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Pocket Nutritionist. My name is Katie, and today I'm going to show you how to make a delicious energy juice without a juicer. That's right, you can make healthy, delicious, fresh juices at home just using a blender and a nut milk bag. And today I'm going to show you how to do it. If you're new to the channel, please click the subscribe button because I share recipes that help you lose weight and have more energy than you know what to do with. So part of the reason I would like to share this recipe with you today is just a personal story from my own detox process that I went through many years ago. When I first started to eat healthier and take a lot of the processed foods out of my diet, I was unbelievably sick and I had very little energy. My liver was very compromised and my body had a really difficult time eliminating toxins and metabolic waste. So I found myself in the position where I would have a big fruit meal or a very nutritious, hydrating meal, and then I'd find myself absolutely exhausted, maybe after a couple of those or after a few days of eating really well, and I'd just lose all my energy. And sometimes I'd also get cold and flu symptoms, and sometimes I'd get gut symptoms, and went through all sorts of stuff. But anyway, during that period, I learned that that was what was called a detox response, or a detox reaction, or a Herxheimer reaction. And what basically happens is when the body brings in a whole lot of nutrition all at once into the body that it hasn't received in a while, all of a sudden the body now has all of these resources to work with and help all of these chemical reactions to occur that it's been wanting to do. It's supporting the immune system, it's supporting the energy pathways, and all of a sudden all of this waste comes out of the organs. When that happens all at once, if the elimination organs, the liver, the kidneys, the skin, the lungs, aren't in a position to be able to eliminate that waste effectively, it all gets backed up in the system a little bit, and sometimes that can lead to fatigue, gut symptoms, cold and flu symptoms, all the things that you experience when you get sick. But really what's just happening is that the liver and kidneys basically need a little bit more support and a little bit more of a nudge just to be able to move everything through. So this juice that I'm going to share with you today is a wonderful way to assist with that period of time where if you are a little bit low on energy and you're doing a bit of a detox, then this will just help to push everything through the liver, gently nudge everything through the kidneys, and help just get some wonderful hydration into the system to reduce those symptoms and to boost your energy. So I wanted to share it because it's so easy, and I also wanted to share this because I know some of you might not be in a position where you're willing to invest into a really high quality juicer at this stage, and I totally get it. It took me a long time to be able to justify that one in my mind. I've now got the amazing Nama juicer, but I do recommend that you invest in some sort of blender. It can be a more affordable option if you get a slightly cheaper one than the Vitamix. I've got a Vitamix, I use it so much it's worthwhile, but if you have a blender and you have a nut milk bag, you can make juices, and I always crave juices. I don't know about any of you, but this is just an easy way. If you're in between having a blender and buying a juicer, this is a wonderful way that you can do it. So for this recipe you will need celery, mixed leafy greens, or some dark leafy greens like kale or whatever your choice is. You'll need some organic carrots if you can source them, organic beetroot, some organic apples, and some fresh ginger. I've put a recommendation for the quantities below, but you can choose how much of these ingredients you like. Any combination of this will really be wonderful. I suggest not to go too overboard on anything too bitter to begin with. So the leafy greens and the celery might be a little bit much if you're not used to those sorts of things, so just build up to it. But certainly the carrot, and you can have a little bit of apple in there, and the beetroot is a wonderful addition. What we'll do now is just place the veggies and the fruits and the greens into the blender, and I'll just place a little bit of water in there bit by bit if it needs it to soften up a little bit. You may also like to have the tamper handy just in case you need to press anything down a little bit more to help it blend through. So you can see now I've got all of the veggies and the fruit blended up. I used about, I'd say 250 mils of water then. And now I've made space in the blender to be able to put the rest of the greens in. So that's what I'm going to do now. Place the greens in last because then they'll mix in really well and you can sort of stuff them right down. Place that in. You want to have the green in there too. Green is fabulous for the immune system, fabulous for oxygenation, really good for brain health, wonderful for energy. All the good things. Very good if you've got anemia too. Very good source of iron. Okay, so this is at the moment quite a thick mixture. I'm going to add a little bit more water just so that there's a little bit more liquid in there so that when I put it into the nut milk bag, we'll get plenty of beautiful juice out of it. So the next bit's the fun, messy bit. So I'll just put on my apron and this is the nut milk bag that I'm going to use. I just got it from a local health food store. So it was less than $20, I think. And here it is. So what we'll do is we'll use this to capture the pulp from the juice and put it into a bowl. So I'll just extend that out as far as it will go. And simply pour all of the mixture into the bag. So all I'm going to do now is squeeze it out. Woo! And here comes the juice. So I'm actually pretty impressed with how much gets sucked out of the water with this nut milk bag. Really impressive. The pulp that gets left behind is pretty dry considering you're just doing it by hand. Now, another question that you might be asking is, well, what do I do with all of that pulp? Well, you can do whatever you want with it. Some people actually use it in recipes. There's a lot of recipes online that you can reuse the pulp of your juicing in. It's not something I've explored personally just yet, but certainly there are people out there that do a lot of this sort of stuff. Or alternatively, you can put it in your compost. That's another good way to recycle it and get the most out of it. So what we're going to do now is just pop this into a glass container for the fridge, and I'm going to go safely today and use a jug to do this rather than trying to pour it out from the bowl. There we go. Okay, so we've finished our juice. That has yielded just over a litre of juice. So I think that's pretty good actually for how much I put in there. Let's give it a taste test. Beautiful colour. Oh, that's spot on, spot on. I'll put the quantities of what I put in there down below in the recipe. It's so vibrant. It's not overly sweet because I only put in 2 apples. There's some beautiful flavours in there. The ginger is very subtle. You could probably toss a little bit more of the ginger in if you really like it. It's one of those polarising things, so I didn't want to put too much in there, but just so healthy for you, wonderful for energy, wonderful to help cleanse the liver, the beetroot in there, just beautiful. So I hope that you give this a go. Even if you don't have a juicer, you can still make fresh juices at home. You just need a good quality high-speed blender and a nut milk bag. Enjoy this recipe. I hope it brings you a lot of energy and wonderful health, and I'll see you next time.